So at some point you end up getting on SWAT team. Is that they specifically is it is that SWAT team position for you because you have the dog?
Yeah, and I like the way you said it because it makes it sound real cool. At some point, I ended up getting on the SWAT team, which is total bullshit. Okay. At some point, my chief decided that, and this was, a big part of this was I don't know if you know anything about the 4 Oakland officers that were killed, but the a motor cop made a stop on a parolee. Another motor cop came to fill with him. The parolee killed them both, ran, gets holed up inside an apartment. SWAT goes in there to get him, and 2 more SWAT officers are killed, right? Had they sent the dog in first, they would have known yes, he is in there, and yes, he is armed because the dog would have ended up dying. So my police department's stance on that was we really need to use these robots and these canines first before we go into situations. We don't want to lose cops. We just don't,
Okay,
right?
wait a minute. I want to ask you a question though. I'm assuming you have this bond with this dog, sending a dog in knowing that it might be hurt or killed. What's your thought on that?
My thought every day I thought about that, and it was, for me, it was worse, I think, than anyone, and I'm not trying to say that I'm better than anyone, I'm just saying this, my dog was my only cover. I had sued the police department,
Mm.
no one was covering me. I was alone, it was me and my dog in many, many situations, and the handful of cops that did fill for me, which I will love till I die, um, I had to protect them too because they couldn't be affiliated with me.
But and maybe you can only speak for yourself. Maybe other canine officers feel this way, but is there any I mean, obviously the canine is a tool,
Yeah,
but do you have any trepidation of sending this dog that you clearly have a bond into a
yeah.
situation that yeah.
Yeah, because I knew if my dog got killed in this situation, not only would I lose my dog, which would be crushing, my partner, which would be crushing, but I'd be back on patrol without a dog and no partner. So I was losing more than just a tool that could be replaced. I was losing everything that was helping me at work or protecting me at work. So for me, every situation I went to, and I went to a lot, um, like a lot. Many, many canine cops don't really get to use their dog. I talk to cops here and they're like, "How many bites did you have?" And I tell them and they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, how many have you had?" And well, I've been on 4 years and I don't have any. And I'm all, "What?" I mean, we used our dogs.
Yeah.
Even when it was, violent felonies only, I was still being used a lot. And my dog got a lot of bites. Both of them did. And so when I lost my dog, I lost everything.
Yeah.
And not to mention the fact that it's just that dog was literally in my life all I had. I was not good in relationships. I wasn't married. I wasn't gonna get married. And it's all I have no family. So it was me and that dog.
Mm.
So my career sucked and all I had was the dog. My social life, friends were great, but, romantically sucked. So that's dogs all I had. And, it was a huge blow to me. It was my life would blow up. So every time I went into those situations, and this is ultimately where I realized that I had pretty bad PTSD and I needed to do something about it, is I wanted if the dog was going down, I was going down too.
Mm.
And that was my mindset, and that wasn't good for anybody. Um, and so, because I was just done, you know?
Okay, so talk about how you end up on the SWAT team. You good? I interrupted you. You got
Yes,
back to it was the Oakland officers. They get killed,
yes,
and
they
so
get killed, and my chief has this idea and just this that we need a dog on the team no matter what. So they tried putting one of the Malinois on the team. That was this. The dog's name was Nero. His handler was an awesome dude, a Marine, also on the SWAT team. And it didn't work out because Nero was just crazy, and it didn't work out, right? And so my chief, I think, realized I had gone to Colorado and I did his training with TAC dogs, were military dogs and special forces dogs, SWAT dogs, and then I was one of the only patrol dogs there. And I didn't realize it was a competition. I thought it was a week and a half of intense training, and I ended up winning with all these freaking awesome guys. I tied for first place, so by draw, I got second. Only female, only patrol dog. Me and Kroll was my second dog at the time. So when I came back, and they had realized that, learned I had done so well, and I went there with my SWAT guy and his dog Nero. They're like, "Oh, I got this great idea. We hate her. Let's put her at the door of every volatile situation that we have." And the dogs are now going to be on the SWAT team. So here we were, SWAT team right behind us, looking completely different. We're in our blues with our dog, no equipment, no helmet, no nothing, at the entrance of every freaking call.
So
So
essentially,
we were voluntold to be on the SWAT team.
So
We were
it's-
not.
yes, but
Yeah.
so essentially you're assigned to the SWAT team, but
Yeah.
you're not necessarily part of the SWAT team.
Oh no.
And
I mean,
and talk about those guys. You want to go to the training with them, and what do
we
they
want to
do?
go to the trainings. They don't want any part of that. My whole unit was actually fighting. All four of us were fighting. Hey, if you want to use any given dog and then pick one special dog that, works well with you, you need to give us the equipment and we need to be there for the trainings. And I honestly, I don't have any solid evidence to this, but based on everything that had happened up until that point, I honestly felt like I was the biggest hindrance for that to happen. I felt like they didn't want me around. I had been suing the police department. I was female. I obviously was not going to back down to anyone. I was opinionated. I'm not going to cower. And I felt like I was probably the biggest hindrance to that happening. It did slowly happen, and we did go to a few, because there were some good sergeants on that SWAT team that are like, yeah, we need to do this. They need to be a part of this. And so we did do some of it, but not the way you would. So we were doing deployments with the SWAT team, and honestly, I'm like, well, on the way there, I'd say goodbye to my dog. I would film on my little phone a goodbye message to whomever I was with at the time and my good friends. I had a funeral tape made up, and I would change it all the time. And every single time I went on a deployment, I would just tuck that little funeral. My buddy at work, Angela, knew where to go for my stuff. And yeah, I mean, I would just imagine having to film a little funeral tape every single time you're going to go out on a deployment. And then some of them you're not knowing because you're on call. So on the way there, filming in the car up on your little mount that fell over all the time that you put into the dash, your goodbyes to everyone, because you just didn't know how that was going to end and had no faith that you were coming back.
So you just holy.
Yeah.
It's so you tell me. I mean, so you basically you're getting into these situations where you think you're going to get killed because you think these guys are just going to let you.
Some of them. There were some guys, and that's just it. When people say, the cops are this, the cops are that. I worked for a shit department, and I'm not going to pretend that I didn't. But I would say we had 175 cops, right? 130 of those cops were fucking amazing. It's the other ones you have to watch out for. And that's the problem. I knew there were guys on that SWAT team even that were like, not if I can help it. But there were guys on that SWAT team that were just like, here's an opportunity, and said it, literally said it. And so again, you fall back into being one of the good cops on that SWAT team, hearing, but not being a part of, right? Do I want to blow up my life for this person? 14 women sued this police department. Half of them are gone within that first year. The other half were gone 2 years later. Do I really want to be a part of standing up for this crowd that's probably not even going to be here.